Let's be honest. When it comes to the royal family, especially Kate Middleton, the world is always watching. Every gesture, every outfit, every fleeting expression. Getting a straight story about Kate Middleton from the British press is like squeezing water from a stone. The headlines are relentless, the speculation endless, and the truth often buried beneath layers of glossy reporting. She's the nation's flawless darling, always poised, always perfect, until, on Remembrance Sunday, something gloriously human happened that no one could have predicted. I'm talking about her eyebrow. Yes, you heard that right, her eyebrow. One solitary eyebrow went rogue. It arched, it strayed, it refused to conform to the royal script. This wasn't just a makeup mishap. It was a statement, an unintentional, silent protest against the impossible standards of perfection. While the nation stood in silence, honouring the fallen, Kate's eyebrow was having its own party, dancing to a tune only it could hear. For years, we've seen flawless Kate, perfect hair, perfect smile, perfect posture. She's been the picture of composure, the embodiment of royal grace. But on that balcony, her left eyebrow told a different story, a story of defiance the media couldn't ignore. The internet erupted, memes were born, and suddenly everyone was talking about a single brow. Were we really dissecting a single strip of hair? Yes, and it was magnificent. It was as if the world had been waiting for a tiny imperfection to remind us that even royals are human. People weren't mocking, they were celebrating. The eyebrow became a symbol of relatability, a reminder that nobody is immune to a little chaos. It was a crack in the flawless facade, a tiny rebellion against the pressure to be perfect at all times. For a moment, Kate wasn't a future queen. She was just a woman with a wonky brow, standing in the spotlight and somehow making it look endearing. The eyebrow became a hero, a beacon of authenticity in a sea of perfection. It was celebrated in tweets, memes, and even think pieces about beauty standards. The press, usually quick to defend or criticize, was caught off guard. For once, they didn't know whether to laugh, analyze, or simply let it go. How do you spin an eyebrow trying to escape a royal event? For once they were stumped, left scrambling for words to explain the unexplainable. In that silence, the eyebrow's message grew louder. Perfection is a myth. And sometimes the smallest imperfections are what make us most memorable. And for that, we owe it a debt of gratitude. That little brow gave us all permission to embrace our own quirks, to laugh at ourselves, and to find joy in the unexpected. It was the royal rebellion no one saw coming, a tiny act of defiance that united the internet and made headlines around the world. Sometimes the smallest things make the biggest impact. A single eyebrow, out of place, can spark a global conversation. The eyebrow didn't just break the internet, it broke the royal silence, reminding us that authenticity is always in style. And that's a story worth telling. One eyebrow, one moment, and a world reminded that perfection isn't everything. Let's talk about the performance itself. Not the ceremony, not the speeches, but the unexpected star of the show. This wasn't a smudge. It was a full-blown show above Kate's left eye, a spectacle that drew more attention than any royal wave. The eyebrow had a life of its own, like a fuzzy caterpillar inching to freedom, determined to escape the confines of royal protocol. At times it looked like a dramatic signature, scrawled in a fit of passion, as if it was signing its own Declaration of Independence. While the ceremony below was solemn, the eyebrow was dancing a tango, refusing to be tamed by the seriousness of the occasion. Meet Brenda, the rebellious eyebrow, tired of being plucked and penciled, desperate to be free, yearning for a moment in the spotlight. As Kate stood regal, Brenda was the court jester, exposing the exhaustion of perfection, hinting at the humanity behind the royal mask. It wasn't a static error. It was dynamic, sometimes pointing north, sometimes drooping in defeat, always shifting with the mood of the moment. It was a tiny, hairy soap opera for the world's cameras, a subplot that stole the show from the main event. You couldn't look away. It was more compelling than any royal speech, more relatable than any official statement. That Eyebrow deserved an award for Best Supporting Actor, for its ability to capture the world's imagination in just a few frames. No one talked about the ceremony. Everyone talked about the brow. Social media exploded with memes, and headlines couldn't get enough. It was a masterclass in upstaging, both hilarious and profound, reminding us that even in the most formal moments, something unexpected can steal the scene. Even in the most controlled environments, life and hair finds a way to be unpredictable, to break free from the script. Brenda the Eyebrow, we salute you. You brought levity and laughter to a day that could have been just another royal routine. Your performance was one for the history books, a tiny rebellion that made a global impact. Sometimes the smallest rebellion is the most memorable, and sometimes it's the little things that remind us to smile. The world needed a laugh, and Brenda delivered, uniting people in a moment of shared amusement. Long live the Wiggly rebel. May we all have the courage to let our own Brendas shine, even if just for a moment. Normally, the British media would spin any Kate Middleton imperfection into a triumph. But the Eyebrow was different, too obvious to ignore, too ridiculous to explain away. What could they say? Kate debuts daring new asymmetrical brow trend. They were stumped. Some tried blaming lighting or rain, but no one was buying it. The public saw what they saw, a wonky eyebrow. The media's weak explanations only made it funnier. This rare malfunction revealed how much work goes into maintaining the myth of perfect Kate. The eyebrow incident was a glitch in the matrix, a moment when the curtain was pulled back. The press couldn't protect her, and in their failure, they exposed the absurdity of their usual game. The eyebrow didn't just defy makeup, it defied the entire media machine. To understand Eyebrowgate, you need the context. For over a decade, the media has turned Kate into a living saint, St. Catherine of Cambridge. She's praised for everything, never criticised, always perfect. The press has built an impossible standard, making her less a person, more a brand. She's the benchmark for all other royals, her perfection a weapon to keep others in line. So when that eyebrow went rogue, it wasn't just a makeup mishap, it was a crack in the myth. It reminded us there's a human behind the Teflon Princess. Even Kate can have a bad eyebrow day. That's far more interesting than the fairy tale. Sometimes a smudge tells the real story. Now imagine if it had been Meghan Markle on that balcony. The headlines would have screamed scandal, Meghan's makeup meltdown, or Markle's eyebrow antics mock the monarchy. The double standard is glaring, Kate's mishap is endearing, Meghan's would be a crisis. When Meghan held her baby bump, or wore dark nail polish, it was treated as a scandal. If she'd had a rebellious brow, it would have been called treason. This isn't about liking one duchess more, it's about fairness. The eyebrow incident is a litmus test, revealing the media's hypocrisy. For Kate, it's a funny oopsie. For Meghan, it would have been a witch hunt. The Tale of Two Duchesses is written in every headline, and never clearer than in the case of the wandering eyebrow. That eyebrow wasn't a victim, it was a revolutionary. In the world of royal control, it was a tiny declaration of independence. It was punk rock on the face of the establishment. The eyebrow was a small, fuzzy symbol of unscripted chaos. It rebelled against the pressure to be perfect, the endless scrutiny, the expectation to be silent and smiling. In its own wiggly way, it fought for the right to be a bit of a mess. The eyebrow didn't whisper rebellion, it screamed it. In a world of polished PR, it was a moment of pure truth. That eyebrow did more to humanize the royals than 1,000 photo ops. Long live the rebellious brow. The most fascinating part of the eyebrow saga is the timing. It didn't happen in a vacuum. It arrived at a moment when the world was already questioning the image of perfection so often projected by the royal family. For once, the British media laughed along with the public, sharing in the joke rather than standing apart from it. It was a gentle mockery, not a vicious attack, a break from the usual script of harsh criticism or relentless scrutiny that so often surrounds the royals. Could this be a sign the tide is turning? Are we witnessing a subtle shift in how the monarchy is perceived and portrayed? Maybe we're all tired of relentless perfection, of the constant pressure to appear flawless in every public moment. The Eyebrow gave us a taste of authenticity, and people loved it. It was a rare, relatable moment that made Kate seem more human. It suggests a growing appetite for a more honest royal family, one that isn't afraid to show its imperfections and vulnerabilities. If the press can admit Kate's eyebrow looked silly, what else might they admit? Could this open the door to more candid conversations about the royals? For a moment, the PR machine failed, and the wall of spin cracked, letting a bit of reality shine through. The eyebrow incident could be remembered as the start of a more honest conversation about the monarchy, one that acknowledges both strengths and flaws. It was a small step, but maybe a step toward a more real future, one where honesty, even in the smallest moments, is finally in fashion. So, what have we learned? Perfection is boring, and sometimes the smallest things make the biggest statements. That eyebrow did more for royal honesty in 5 minutes than years of press releases. It reminded us that beneath the titles and tradition, royals are human. For a brief moment, Kate was every woman with a makeup emergency. In the royal story, this will be a footnote, but it's more than that. It's a symbol of a shift, a tremor in royal reporting. The eyebrow broke free from the tired old narrative. Next time you see a royal looking perfect, remember Brenda the Eyebrow and her brave stand. Even in the most polished institutions, there's room for chaos, humour, and humanity. Long live the brow.
The submission itself sounds nice. And to my amazing and peculiar Sussex family, thank you all for watching our videos and tuning in to Daily Diaries Friday's update. Keep it light, keep it there, and see you next time in our next episode. Bye bye. May you have a good day and a good time. Keep shining. Bye bye.